Peace, Supreme. So,
Look, that's as far as I got. It looks like I'm very educational, don't it? There's a plan for this graphic.
yeah.
What about that?
So, what would you say your core reader is?
What that mean? I don't know. What's cool?
Like the demographic. You said you were just building on that your readers were supposed to become teachers and write books themselves. So, how do you envision your readers?
Demographics, right? So like my core reader for How to Hustle and Win on up was like 15 and up. So between 15 and 35, like I was catching young or intending to catch young, in prison, free, whatever the scenario was by which they got the books. It was young people more than old people at first. Now a lot of the people have aged, they brought their families in, and through the internet you got Amazon and recommendations and bookstores. You got wide cross section of people. Man, thanks to the internet now, there's white Lithuanians reading my books, you know?
Yeah.
Australian Aborigines down to somebody in France that's wealthy and born into money. So when you put something out that's good, if your intention is just for it to be good and good for people, you may not always know who it's going to get to. So like it got to more people than I had intended, but I intended to get the young, the poor, and the underserved to know that they had all the value in the world, and like know that within I got everything that it takes to produce everything without. Like this star gonna be you in this diagram when it gets done. And so my core student, my ideal student is different from my target demographic. Because my target demographic is when I was more business minded. Like,
Yeah.
And now it's not so much business, but it's really more like it's transformative work. It's social work innovation, you know.
Indeed.
So my ideal student or my ideal brother, sister, business partner, colleague, peer is somebody that do the same thing like what I intend to do, which is when we are able to influence and affect people, we produce change in a meaningful, transformative, and substantive way. So they're the ones that took the book, and just like How to Hustle and Win say, every 40 pages, go share this with somebody.
Yeah.
They did that, but then they did more because Hood helped tell you how to be a better person and be healthy in your relationships. So ideally, you was building with your brothers, your sisters, and you built the family. Because if you didn't build family, then you're depressed. So then you're gonna look for a solution to your depression. You're gonna be like, okay, let me do some things that's gonna change it. So whatever you did to make your life healthy and happier, that gotta spread. So there are people right now that are on the internet that are not necessarily my student. They on the periphery of it because they decided to stay as a fan and be on the internet and look for the wisdom rather than looking for the life application. Like they still getting the knowledge. For them, like the diagram point inward. Like instead of it going out, everything go inward. For them, they gotta consume, they gotta receive, and so they need a big brother. They need an OG, they need a guru, or they need even somebody that hates a rival or that person ain't nothing. That they need that because they ain't gotten into that journey that knowledge of self really teaches, which is knowledge of self.
Yep.
Do for self. Build where you live. No, you don't gotta move. Build where you live. Build with your people. Find who in your community and neighborhood is of a like mind. And if you don't do that, then what books can we offer that will fix that? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no book I can give somebody. I mean, we didn't put out a lot of books on business, parenting, relationships, a lot of stuff, mental health. Those things though require that you do what's in the first set of books though.
Yeah.
And so like for a while I was like, they want the new books. I didn't make the new books. And what I did was I went into the old books and I snuck a page into all the old books. And now if you get any of the old books now, they all got these new pages in there that say, go help a friend. Go check in on a loved one. Go do something that's meaningful for somebody. Go do something to heal yourself. Go take a moment. And that is what I'm realizing the new work is, which is reducing harm, reducing the cycle of harm, where we end up being harmful to other people because what we're going through. Emotionally, financially, you name it. And this is how the whole circle ends up being toxic. It goes out with like a ripple. But imagine if with our influence, instead of being like toxic to people and harmful, we show people how to break the cycle of harm and turn that into healing. So the new ideal that I have in mind for my peers is those that are engaged in the work of learning and teaching. Now you gotta learn and teach. So what am I learning now? I'm learning how we feel. We feel rough. And if you feel rough, you ain't gonna be able to build much. So the next thing we gotta do, rather than like, let's build a multi-million-dollar business. Let me figure out how I feel so I can do the work well. Let me help people. I was letting them play. I was like, yeah, come in with the music. You know?
Yeah, the
But yeah,
effects.
like that's the new ideal student who is he learning how to teach, and the ideal teacher is still a student. I'm still a student. I get where I go. I come here to learn. I come here to learn more than I come to teach, and that's what we all doing. There's a million of us. That's the thing. There's a million of us. Don't let the internet fool you. People don't be on the internet begging for attention. That's natural, because that's where you go. If I was sick and I ain't had no friends and I had messed up my life, hell yeah, I'm gonna go to the internet. But that don't mean that's all we got as our community. That's just who's on the internet. There's a billion people that don't even have internet access on the planet. We overestimate how much people are online. My brother that I'm here to see, he don't even be on the internet like that. He don't have no big internet presence. So these are real people that do real work, and I'd rather go fly to see them and keep it low on the radar, because everything is not meant to be a show. For some people, the show is their distraction. Even looking at, some people will build and others will what? Watch the building. And it's cool to watch the building when you're young, because when you're a child, you're like, yo, look at what they built. But that should inspire you to want to build something yourself. And so that's to answer the question the longest way possible. That's the ideal person that reads my books and what they did with it.
That's peace.